Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name's Jess. Thank you ever so much for coming back. Today we are delving into the Petiteknit Sophie scarf pattern, which has been super viral, and I thought I would just film my experience over the last few days of how I got on with the pattern as a complete beginner. This is my very first project I've ever made. I keep trying to start scarves and different projects to like get used to knitting and things, but I just haven't been able to stick to anything. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to try this Sophie scarf. It's been recommended to me so much, so I thought I would just give it a go. Originally this week I planned on starting to make a jumper. I've actually made the test swatch and then the cables were not right. There's so many more things that go into knitting than I initially anticipated, and I've had to buy a few more bits. So I've decided to make the Petiteknit Sophie scarf in the meantime. So first of all, the yarn I'm using is the James C. Brett Emotions yarn in Revolution, I believe. I'll leave it on the screen as well because I always forget. I don't know how people remember exactly what yarn they use, but I saw it in Hobbycraft the other day and I absolutely fell in love. They have a really lovely collection of all colour changing wool, and I love colour changing wool. It's kind of like a good lazy way of being able to use multiple colours in one project. So this is what I'm going to use to make my jumper as well, but I thought because I've got it, I'm just going to use it for the scarf. This is currently where we're at, and it's taken me a long time to get here because I kept redoing it because I just didn't look right to me. I couldn't figure it out. I'm from a crochet background. I've been crocheting for many years. So this is like, I'm super new to knitting, but I'm very used to reading patterns. Obviously it's slightly different to crochet. Like there's not loads and loads of explanations on what you do because it is basically repetition the whole way through anyway. So I had to watch a couple of videos on how to do some of the techniques because I had no idea how to do the increases and the decreases, but I'm very happy now after, I think I'm on my like 4th increase by now. So the pattern is pretty much the same all the way through. It's a repetition. Then when you get to like the halfway point, you just do it the other way around to like decrease it back down, and it's going to be like a little nice tie scarf. So I'm really happy with this so far. I think just the start of it just completely threw me off, but I'm very happy with where we're at now. And like I said, I think I'm like 4 increases in. I think the pattern was about £4. I'll leave it in the description, but obviously this is a very popular pattern and there are some other ones I've got my eye on actually. I really want to do the Sophie hood, and then there's a shawl as well, but I'm more interested in the hood. So that's where we're at on day 1 of me making the scarf, and I will check back in as and when I carry on with the pattern. This is kind of like my first full day working on it. I started it last night and I did like a couple hours, but this is like my first proper day. It's about lunchtime right now, and this is where we're at. I'm almost halfway and I'm really happy with it. I do have a couple things actually I want to talk about though, but this is where we're at, almost halfway. There is 2 different sizes I can do. There's a smaller size and a larger size. There's only a couple stitches between them both. I'm undecided yet what size I'm gonna do. I'm really happy with how quickly this has been built up because it is repetitive and the colours have come out absolutely beautiful. I love this so much. My only couple qualms is I feel like it looks wonky and I don't know why. I'm gonna be honest, I've been struggling with keeping up with when to increase because I'm watching stuff as I knit and I'm not paying as much attention as I probably should. And also maybe I'm supposed to be putting stitch markers in this. It doesn't mention it in the pattern, but I don't know how else anybody is remembering when to do it. I think I'm still a beginner, so I'm not going to be too hard on myself about this. Maybe it's meant to not look like this, but I feel like the bottom specifically looks like it's kind of on a wonk, and then it doesn't look quite as straight. I think it's probably my bad and that maybe I've increased at the wrong time at parts because I just keep forgetting. Like in my head when I'm doing it, I'm like, okay, this is row 2, this is row 2, this is row 2. And then I get to the end and I'm like, was that row 2 or row 3? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know where I'd put the stitch marker, but that's my only real con with it so far. And it's all kind of my fault because I'm very forgetful. So I'm just struggling with that. But when I look at it, I don't feel like it looks right, you know, like it looks kind of wonky. But when it's like tied around my neck, I don't think it's going to matter as much. Okay, so we are officially halfway in the scarf. She's still looking a bit wonky, but I think that's okay. So now we're going to start decreasing. I've watched a couple videos and I'm going to start writing down when I'm doing the rows so I don't get confused, and we'll see if the decrease side is a little more straight. But yeah, I'm feeling good about this. It's come up together really quickly and I'm excited to see the finished product. I've decided to go for the smaller size of the scarf because I think this size is pretty good. So that's where we are. I am back and I'm here for my last and final check-in because the scarf is now complete. As you can see, it's been quite the labour of love. It's taken me the best part of the last 2 days to do this. We didn't come into any major hurdles really. The only hurdle I had to surpass was my wool knotting up, and it took me absolutely forever to untangle it all. I actually had to separate it into 2 skeins, I guess, of yarn in the end. It was one big one, but I guess the way it was wrapped, it was just wrapped over and over on itself. So that was my only biggest issue really. That was just before I started decreasing. I had to undo it and redo it and cut it and do a lot of magic knots. But luckily, because I've said I'm a crocheter, I know how to do the magic knot where like you attach 2 bits of string back together. The decreasing I found super easy, and I'm very glad that I decided to start writing down where my decreases were, because as you can tell on the scarf, you can clearly see where the increases were where I wasn't writing it down. I was getting confused and it's a bit wonky. And then on the side where the decreases are on, it's so much straighter. So when I inevitably probably make this scarf again, I will be making sure I write down everything, because I was just getting so confused and I really don't know why I didn't think to write it down in the first place. I think again, because I'm so used to crochet and being able to know on the rows where I am and like what I'm doing, I didn't think I needed to write it down, but I did. So that's on me, and it is a little bit wonky, but it's something I can live with because it's like my first ever knitted project and I'm very happy with it. And honestly, like, I completely miss the feeling of getting lost in something. If you are a crafter, knitter, crocheter, painter, you'll know that there's those projects where like you completely get lost in it. I wasn't like, all this morning I was doing it, in the last 2 days I was like, I need to eat, I need to make sure I shower. Like, I was just so obsessed with what I was doing. I just didn't want to stop. Like, and it felt so good. And I miss that feeling. Like, I've been having a weird couple days where I wasn't feeling great because I was on my period, and I was like, I just need to sit and craft. And I just, yeah, it was a really lovely feeling and I feel really good about it. And I feel even better because I managed to finish the scarf and it looks really good, I think. So yeah, I'm actually kind of glad in a way that I didn't have all the things I needed to make a jumper right now, because it led me to making this instead. And I actually feel a lot more confident with my knitting skills now because of the repetition in this scarf and the increases and the decreases I didn't know how to do before. So now I feel a lot better with knitting, more so than I did before. I feel a lot more comfortable with the hooks because it just like, I've been doing it for so long over and over again. I would 1000% recommend this pattern if you are a beginner knitter, or you're just a knitter and want something a bit easier to do to in between projects, I guess. But I definitely had no issues with this, and if I was stuck, I just had a look on YouTube. But yeah, I love this scarf. I'm definitely going to be making some more of them, and I'm really happy with my wool choice. I mean, it was the only wool I had here, but I think that is everything that I wanted to say about this pattern. Again, I'm really happy. I would definitely recommend it, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it was a bit all over the place. I wasn't planning on filming it. It was total spur of the moment, but I'm really glad I did, just to document my experience. And I will make sure to try and film my experience of making my jumper whenever that happens. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I will see you on my next video.